What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Balian, back with another episode of the Sports Pod. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk about the Knicks' 23-point win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards wasn't supposed to play, but he returned a week early from a hamstring injury, and it was to no avail. The new-look Knicks look dominant. Their offense finally showing what it can do. I'll get into all of it on the other episode of the intro. Hit it.
DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Got the wall. He jumps. It's gone. He did it. He did it. Pete Alonso with the most memorable home run of his career.
All right, getting into the episode and starting with the Knicks offense because this is what I think they can do. The ball movement, the energy, the transition, everything was there for a good amount of this game. Of course, there were stretches where they looked like their old selves, where they looked like Tom Thibodeau was still coaching this team. And that's going to happen because the reality is they are 8 games in under a new coach. But the reality also is that their offensive ceiling is so much higher under this new coach. I think so much of it is that not everything goes through Jalen Brunson. Of course, he's still the top player on this team, the best player on this team. But in this game, he didn't lead the Knicks in points. In the win against the Wizards, I don't think he led the Knicks in points. In fact, it was Cat with 33 who led the way. Jalen Brunson doesn't have to do everything for this team this year. And that's such a huge difference compared to last year where it was Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson pick and roll on each and every offensive possession. And it would take them 15 seconds to get into the pick and roll. But with this new head coach, everything flows more. They're making the extra pass. They're getting a great shot rather than a good shot. These are the things we were yelling about last year. And they're not even doing it to perfection yet. Just get me to March when this offense is clicking on all cylinders. And I think the biggest thing is everyone played in this game. Everyone who was going to be in the playoff rotation was in the lineup and on the court on Wednesday night. I mean, obviously, your starting 5 is going to remain the same. I'm still looking at the Wizards game. It's Jalen, it's Cat, it's OG, it's Mikal, and it's Mitch. It's OG, Cat, Jalen, Mikal, Mitch. That's your starting 5, and that is an end-game championship contender starting 5 right there. Those are 5 guys, and let me tell you, Mitch only played 16 minutes despite being in the starting lineup. Jordan Clarkson also played 16 minutes. Josh Hart played 27. So just because he's on the court to start the game doesn't mean he needs to be in there 40 minutes a night. He can be a role player and almost work as a bench player despite being in the starting lineup. But in those 16 rather, Mitch racked up 9 offensive rebounds, 10 total, 3 blocks. I mean, that's inhumane. He is just on another level when it comes to rebounding, and nobody can compete with him. And yeah, I get it. The Timberwolves probably aren't the greatest rebounding team, but they've got Rudy Gobert, who's a defensive player of the year. I guess Naz Reid is a guy. Julius Randle was always tough. Just looking down the up and down the roster right now. Yeah, Gobert had 9 boards. Randle had 5. Those are got to be their top rebounders. I mean, off the bench, Naz Reid at 6. He's their backup big. I don't think they're going to be anything special on the glass. So Mitch is able to take advantage of that a little bit more. But 9 offensive rebounds is ridiculous. That is flat out insane from Mitch. And it's not like that's out of the ordinary for him. If he's playing 20, 25 minutes in a game, he's probably pulling down 8 to 12 rebounds. That is standard. It's typical for Big Mitch. But the best part about it is typically when he grabs an offensive rebound, he's going to go up and he's going to try to dunk it. Maybe he'll get fouled, then he'll go to the line. He'll probably miss one, if not both of the free throws. But this year, and especially in this game, when he grabs a rebound, his first instinct isn't to go back up with the ball. It's to find the open guy on the perimeter, which I think can benefit the Knicks a ton because it's going to limit his trips to the line, aka limiting the amount of missed free throws. And it goes back to the idea that 3 points is better than 2 points because 9 times out of 10 when he's kicking the ball out, it's to a shooter beyond the arc. I mean, it was OG Anunoby. I saw at least once. I think I saw Mikal. I think I saw Jalen. I mean, that is going to be huge. If Mitch can really expand his facilitation and what he can do from not only the high post, but the low block, I think that's huge. I mean, I think it'll allow Cat to play more on the perimeter because you have a guy that can dump the ball off. And by the way, that one pass that Karl-Anthony Towns had where he has the ball, he's in the short corner. He's got it. It's kind of a post situation. I forget who was on him. It might have been Ant. I think it was either Ant or Randall. But Jordan Clarkson comes down low. And he's bringing his guy. He pops out for a V cut. His defender overcommits. Clarkson goes backdoor. Beautiful dump ball from Cat. And it's a Clarkson dunk. I don't know if I described it the best way. But in the moment, it was such a beautiful pass. And that's the kind of thing that's going to take this team to the next level. If Karl-Anthony Towns, who is not a shot chucker, but also not a real big assister, is making passes like that, that's incredible for the Knicks. I mean, I kind of like what Clarkson has done. I know he's a shot chucker, but that's his role here. In 16 minutes, he put up 6 shot attempts, which honestly isn't that many. If he's hitting 6 of them, I mean, 7 points, a steal for Clarkson. I think he's going to play a big role on this team. 1 for 3 from downtown. There was one that he took that I really didn't like. He was kind of falling forward into the shot, and those are the kind of situations where keep your footing, dribble, get a screen, and then you could take the shot when you're ready, not rushing into it. But it might have been in transition. They wanted to capitalize on the Timberwolves reeling. But other than that, I thought Clarkson played really well, and I've been pleased with what I've seen from the former Sixth Man of the Year in the early part of this year. Next, getting to Josh Hart. Josh is in an interesting spot with me this year. Last year, he was a starter. You know what he does. He wreaks havoc. He creates chaos. He's going to grab 1 million rebounds despite being 6'4". And this year, he's doing some of the same. He finished with 5 rebounds in this game, 4 assists. But what I want to highlight is his 18 points on 4 threes. Josh Hart is dealing with a hand injury. He's dealing with a sprained ankle, I believe. He's dealing with a back issue. He is hurt every game, it feels like. I don't know how. I don't know if his body is fragile. I don't know what the scenario is, but the fact of the matter is he's on the court every night, and he's producing nearly every game. And the people that want to jump down his throat after 2 or 3 bad performances in October, it's just ridiculous. Because when we get to May, and when we get to deep into the playoffs, and Josh Hart is running around, and he's grabbing double-digit rebounds, and he's boxing out 7-footers and getting boards, and he's taking advantage of teams' mistakes on the offensive end, when he's pushing the ball in transition, those same people are going to be cheering for him. It is game 8. Josh Hart doesn't deserve any hate. I mean, I know I want him to get the hand surgery and rest till whenever it is February. But he is not going to take himself off the court if he can play basketball. That's just not in his nature. He's the ultimate competitor. And if he can perform like this, I have no problem with it. It is, though, when he's not performing like this and the Knicks are suffering because of it, then you want him to get the surgery. But my confidence in Josh Hart is not wavering. I know what he can do. I've watched him for almost 2 seasons. It'll be 2 full seasons at the trade deadline this year. And the type of player he is just a competitor. I was thinking it might be 3 seasons at this year's trade deadline because last year was his second full year. Yeah, this will be his 3rd complete season in February. So we've been watching Josh Hart for quite some time as a Knick now. We know what he's going to give you. And I'm here for it. If he struggles in October, whatever. But as long as he's producing when we get to the conference finals and hopefully when we get to the NBA finals, that is all that matters. Next, Jalen Brunson. He hasn't been playing on the ball as much this year, and I think he's going to benefit from it because teams aren't going to be able to game plan for Jalen Brunson as much as they could last year because all the Knicks showed in the regular season last year was Jalen Brunson with the basketball in his hands. But this year, Jalen's working off ball. He's sitting on the bench a lot more, which I don't mind. Rest him as much as you want. He only played 33 minutes in this game, and this was a game that was close for a long time. The Knicks really pulled away towards the end of the 3rd quarter, but in the first, they went into the locker room at halftime, down 4, I believe. It was a really nice 3rd quarter where they really took advantage of every Timberwolves mistake. Their offense was flying around. The defense with OG Anunoby, with Deuce McBride, with Mitchell Robinson, with Mikal Bridges was just unstoppable. I mean, there's the one play that it was one of the first plays after halftime where Anthony Edwards is fighting with Mikal for post position in the paint. And Anthony Edwards is a guy that's pretty built. He's pretty filled out. And Mikal is a little bit on the skinnier side. Not to say he's not strong, but Mikal holds his ground. He's still midway through the paint. But the entry pass is lost up in the air. And Mikal Bridges, with his elastic arms, is able to tip the ball away. And the Knicks are able to force a turnover on it. But that's the kind of stuff where Mikal knows that if Ant gets the ball in the post, it's wraps. Ant is going up. He's going to finish at the rim, if not dunk on Bridges. So Mikal knows that he can't let Edwards get the ball in the post. And he does everything he has to do. He takes a risk in committing to tipping that ball out because if he misses, Ant has a free lane to the basket. Nonetheless, the Knicks get the turnover and Mikal did what he needed to do. But getting back to what I was talking about with Jalen Brunson, he's going to benefit so much more. And the Knicks as a whole are going to benefit so much more from not showing teams what Jalen Brunson is going to do in the playoffs. Because come playoff time, you know that Jalen Brunson is going to have the basketball in his hand 9 times out of 10, but teams aren't going to be ready for it. And it's not to say that teams aren't going to know that Jalen Brunson isn't going to have the basketball in his hands as much as he will in the season, because if I can sit here and say it on a podcast, then the geniuses, the basketball analysts are going to be able to do it from their offices and those team facilities. But they're not going to know how to game plan for it. They're going to have to look back to 2025 and 2024 when Tom Thibodeau was the head coach and the offense looked so different. The Knicks are going to be at such an advantage if they can give Jalen Brunson the basketball in space in the postseason, because nobody is going to know. And I think we're going to get a good look at what Jalen Brunson does with the ball in his hands a ton at points in this season, because in close games, it is time for Jalen Brunson to take over. I mean, the Knicks have played a number of close games so far this year. I mean, opening night was close for a while against the Cavs. The loss against the Bucks was close for a while. I know Jalen got hurt down the stretch of that game. That's really all the close games so far. I mean, the game against the Bulls, the win against the Bulls was close for a while. Even the loss against the Bulls went down to the wire. I think it was 4 points with a couple minutes left. And then the Bulls went crazy. But Jalen Brunson is going to have the ball in his hands for a lot of time this year. But it's not going to be like last year, where the entirety of the Knicks offense, the Knicks lived and died by Jalen Brunson in 2025. In this 25-26 season, that's not going to be the case because Mike Brown is really going to use Karl-Anthony Towns to the max. He's going to use Mikal Bridges, who looks like he has so much more confidence in his jump shot this year, to the max. He's going to get everything he can out of every guy who plays this year. Even a guy like OG Anunoby. I think Mike Brown is going to try to expand his offensive bag. Hey, listen, OG has a crazy motor and he's awesome on the defensive side of the ball. The Knicks do this defensive player of the game thing where they give one player on the team who excelled on defense a hard hat in Tim's. If it wasn't biased and if they didn't have to share the wealth, OG Anunoby would win that award each and every night. But since they have to give it to everyone to make it seem like it's a little bit fair, Deuce McBride's gotten it, Josh Hart's gotten it, Mitchell Robinson has gotten it. But if we're being honest, OG Anunoby is the defensive player of the game. I mean, the guy is vying for a defensive player of the year. He will be in contention. Nobody's beating Victor Wembanyama, though. The dude is an alien. It's honestly insane what he's doing on both sides of the ball because you look at him, it's not just the defensive bag that's there. He can do it on offense. He can act like a point guard. He can act like a center, and he's 7'4". I don't think we're ever going to see a guy like Wemby again. And if he can have the longevity of a guy like LeBron James, 20 years down the line, we might have to have some conversations. It's still way too early to tell. I can't believe he's already in year 3, though. I feel like this should be year 2. I guess he missed from March on of last year with that blood clot issue. I think it was in his shoulder, like deep bone thrombosis, I think was the official diagnosis, but he's in year 3 already, and he's really taking the next step. I think he's going to be in MVP talks this year for the first time. But getting back to this Knicks win, I love everything they did. And as I was watching this game, I'm just looking at the box score right now. Gershon Yabusele got some run for the first time in a couple games. He only played 9 minutes, but they weren't all garbage time minutes. He was playing in the first half and in the third quarter. He is really a good matchup for Julius Randle. I think their builds are really the same. And even for a big guy, Yabusele can move a little bit. He can handle the limited athleticism that Julius Randle, the limited handles, and the shake and bake that Julius Randle is going to give you. Yabusele can stick with him and really cause a problem on the low post, but you don't have to waste a guy like Mitch's height, waste a guy like Cat's size. You can put that on someone else and really limit, I don't know, maybe you put Cat or Mitch and help on Ant. And when he goes to shoot, Mitch is closing out on Ant, and that's 7 feet of length that's running at him as he's trying to get a 3 off. I mean, maybe you could do something like that, but Julius is still taken care of because Yabusele can handle him. And then the last guy off the bench I want to mention is Tyler Kolek. He only played mop-up minutes in this one, but I thought I really liked what he was doing in the first couple games of this year, so I'm not too sure why Mike Brown isn't using him. I don't know if it's... I really don't know why. I thought he looked very solid for not playing last year and being a sophomore. I thought there was so much upside with him that the Knicks aren't using right now. And maybe he'll get some run as the season goes on and as the Knicks hit cruise control. But right now, it is about getting your footing under Mike Brown. It is about learning how to play with each other. Because if you really think about it, this is only the second full year of this team, and Mitch was out until March of last year. So they really do need to get their chemistry down. And it's about learning each other's game. It's about learning your coach's game. So I'm not too worried about it. I do hope that he plays once we get to March and once the Knicks have the offense and the defense straightened out. All right, that's going to do it for the episode. Knicks got a 23-point win against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who were no slouch. They were in the Western Conference Finals last year. Big win. And my biggest takeaway from the game is that they showed flashes. And over extended periods of time, the Knicks showed what they can do on the offensive side of the ball. All right, make sure you go check out all my socials. They're linked in the description below. Make sure you comment, subscribe, follow, share this with a friend. I really appreciate all of it. Also, make sure you leave me a voicemail with your sports questions and takes at 848-305-8073. Again, that's 848-305-8073. And last but not least, make sure you keep it locked with the Sports Pod.